This video provides an overview of the significant APA 7th edition updates. Beginning summer quarter 2020, you are invited to start transitioning to the 7th edition. Fall quarter 2020, the use of APA 7th edition will be required for student papers and similar projects. Objectives for this video include a discussion of differences between APA style 6th and 7th editions. Please note, this video assumes a working knowledge of APA style. If you have never used APA style, please attend or view an APA Basics webinar at guides.rasmussen.edu/LLC webinar series. Additionally, we will highlight key formatting, reference, and in-text citation updates and review examples of APA 7th edition, and we will introduce additional updates related to writing conventions. Let's get started by looking at the formatting updates. The American Psychological Association, known as the APA, has simplified student paper format requirements. These updates were designed with you, the student, in mind. Major formatting updates fall into a few areas, including the title page, font, and the addition of new sample documents. This slide provides a sample of the new title page. The title page includes the page number aligned right in the header, the title of the paper, which should be bolded, the student name, the college or university name, the course number and course title, the instructor's name, and the assignment due date. The big change is that student papers no longer require running heads, but again, they do require the page number at the top right corner of each page. Now let's move on to font updates. The significant change regarding fonts is that Times New Roman 12-point font is no longer the required font, rather it is one of 6 options. There are now 6 approved fonts, and they are approved because they are legible, widely available, and accessible. The fonts include Calibri 11-point, Arial 11-point, Lucida Sans Unicode 10-point, Times New Roman 12-point, Georgia 11-point, and Computer Modern 10-point. Calibri is the default font in Word. The new sample paper and APA template utilize Calibri 11-point font. To assist you with properly formatting your papers according to APA 7th edition, there are a number of sample documents and templates provided by the APA and Rasmussen. Full student and professional papers can be found on the APA style website, APA Academic Writer, and within Rasmussen's APA Guide. Now let's discuss the major changes to references. First, we'll look at an ebook with a DOI. Remember, DOI stands for Digital Object Identifier. For ebooks with a DOI, the publisher should be included in the reference and hyperlinks can remain active. Here we can see the differences between a 6th edition reference for an ebook with a DOI versus a 7th edition reference. Notice that the publisher is now included and there is an active DOI link. So what happens when a DOI is not available? Rasmussen has decided that when a resource from a library database does not have a DOI and a permanent link for that resource is available, the permanent link is included in the source element of the reference. Keep in mind this is an institutional rule, one that Rasmussen has modified in order to assist faculty and students with accessing resources from Rasmussen library databases. If we look at the next slide, we can see this rule in action. Here we have a reference for an ebook without a DOI. Notice the publisher is included in the reference, the words retrieved from are no longer included before the URL, and a permanent link from a library database or URL is provided. Next, we have a periodical article with a DOI. Notable changes include that hyperlinks can remain active if readers are intended to read the resource online. Also, there is a new requirement to list up to 20 authors before adding an ellipsis and then the last author. Notable changes for periodical articles without a DOI include the words retrieved from are no longer provided before the URL. If there are multiple authors, up to 20 authors should be provided before adding an ellipsis and then the last author. Also, the use of a permanent link from a library database if it is available, or a URL. Finally, there are a few notable changes for creating a reference for a web page with an author. First, the article title should be in italics. Also, the website name should be included following the article title, and the words retrieved from are no longer used before the URL. Lastly, only include retrieval date if the website changes often and archives are not available. Now that we've looked at reference updates, let's take a look at updates related to in-text citations. The 7th edition has simplified rules around citing sources with multiple authors. If you have only one or two authors, include the authors' names in every citation. For example, Brown, 2018. However, if you have 3 or more authors, include only the name of the first author plus et al. In every citation. For example, Johnson et al. 2019. The 7th edition has also clarified some requirements around the appropriate level of citation within student papers. Typically, you should cite 1 or 2 sources for each key point in your paper. You should try to avoid overcitation and undercitation. Undercitation can lead to plagiarism or self-plagiarism, and overcitation is distracting and unnecessary. Overcitation occurs when the same citation is repeated in every sentence with no change in source or topic. Cite the source in the first sentence of the paragraph that is relevant. Do not repeat in subsequent sentences as long as the source and topic remain clear and unchanged. The APA has also provided new guidance for citing classroom and intranet resources, namely for PowerPoint slides, lecture notes, or other instructor or Rasmussen created items from within your courses. The source element includes the classroom website or learning management system and its URL. In the example below, you can see Blackboard Learn, which is the learning management system, is provided in the reference, as well as the URL or address for accessing it. Additional APA 7th edition changes include bias-free language guidelines for writing about people with respect and inclusivity. For example, when writing about an individual, use the person's identified pronouns and use the singular they when the individual's identified pronouns are unknown or are irrelevant within the context of your document. Also, a single space should be used at the end of a sentence. We have no doubt that questions will come up as you begin using the 7th edition. Your Rasmussen Library and Learning Services team is always here to help. Please seek out assistance using the APA Guide, APA Academic Writer, APA Tutoring, the Online Writing Lab, and Library Chat.